Howdy folks, it's Angel the Hunting Gear Guy. I wrote an article and I did a video on if you could own just one handgun, what would it be? This is primarily in response to some restrictions that were coming into place in Canada here. Just recently, well, last week, they announced that there's going to be an import ban. That import ban is coming into effect in 3 days from now. I thought I'd do an update based on kind of what's available because although some of these guns would be great if you could own them, they're just not available very much anymore. So some of them are, some of them aren't. So I've got an update to this article if you just want the quick version. If you want to see the pictures of them and hear a little bit of my opinion of them, let's head into it. I'm going to order these based on which ones I would buy, based on the price and how much I like them. The first one would be the P10F. I think it's still like the best all-around pistol. Canada's Gun Store have them for $780 right now. You can get them for like right around $8. They're creeping up to like $850, that kind of thing. So these pistols are starting to get more expensive. The next one that I would look at is a Jericho. So I ended up actually getting one of these a few weeks ago. I got one of the blued ones. There's also some of these chrome ones out there. While many of the Jerichos are DASA, do double action or single action or both, a lot of the ones that are left over are just single action. Single action is a good trigger pull on it. It's just not the DASA style. I think for 550, these are probably like the best quality handguns you can get, but keep in mind these are surplus, so some of them are going to be pretty ratched from carry and use and whatnot. The next one I'd look at, and one that I ended up also getting, was one of these Norinco Olympia pistols. Marstar has these for $200. They're target pistols, so if you like, I probably wouldn't get one of these for like a first pistol, but if you're looking at something for a second or third, and you want something that's accurate and low recoil, cheap to shoot, you can do a lot worse than a $200 Nork pistol. Next, and I think this is getting into probably some of the better IPSC options, is some of the Shadow Systems pistols. Now, if you want to shoot IPSC with this, take a look and see what is legal in production. I can't remember if it was the XR or DR920. But these are still available. They're like a Gucci Glock, so they're like all custom parts in them. They've got like really nice trigger pulls on them, and they're nice. They're right around $1,600. There's this one I found. There's a DR920 with a little bit of a longer slide. And then there's also the MR920L, which is available for, this one was the cheapest one I found at G4C for $1,500. Next after that, we've got some Glocks, the Glock 48 and 17. I would buy the 17 before the 48 just because it's just a nicer shooting pistol. The grip is full size, the slide's full length. So it's going to be a little bit easier to shoot. The 48, less so. It's got a single stack mag, so it's got less to grip onto. For someone with, even with small hands, it's still going to rock in your hands quite a bit, but it is very nice and small and compact. The CZ75 surplus handguns are another okay option. I think that the advantage with something like this is that there's a pile of parts for the CZ75 platform, and you can replace a lot of them with other parts. So even though these are surplus and they're right around $740, there's still a lot of things you can do with it afterwards. In terms of like how like a good shooter, these Beretta 92Ss have really nice triggers on them. They are used. These are surplus pistols, but for 550. They're pretty nice shooters. The big disadvantage on these is that the magazine release is at the back heel of the pistol. I have another video that I'll link to in a card somewhere up here that I actually reviewed one of these things for a lot less, but still decently priced. The Ruger 57 is a high quality pistol, but it shoots a weird caliber, and that 5.7 cartridge is going to be a little bit more, well, a lot more expensive than 9mm. If you don't shoot it very often, then who cares? But I wouldn't choose one of these for a first pistol. Maybe like third, fourth, fifth, like pretty far down the line, just because you'll want to do, I don't know, competition shooting, target shooting with other pistols before getting into something like this. The Gersans, now I like these pistols. At $300, I really like them. At $500, I think they don't compete well with the Jerichos. I think the Jerichos are just better shooting pistols, better quality pistols than these. But once those Jerichos are out, they're going to be a little bit more tempting because there's just not a lot at that price point. So good all-around pistol, a little bit expensive, 500. A lot of this is inflation. Some of this as well is they're just, like distributors are just buying whatever they can get their hands on at whatever price they can get their hands on it, so that they can sell it to the Canadian market. After that, I think you get into the Tokarevs, the Zastava M57s, the Chinese ones. There's some Romanian ones. There's lots of ones out there. Just to consider what you want to get or what you should get out of here, I really like the M57s. They've got a little bit of a longer grip. They can hold one more round, and that longer grip gives you something that you can actually grab onto. So I prefer them. All in all, these are like terrible pistols, though. The sights are awful on them. The trigger pull's really heavy for a single action pistol. The ammo's cheap. You can still get 7.62 by 25 surplus in Canada. So that's something to consider. They're just not really great shooting pistols. The M&P 9 2.0, I like the handgun. I really don't like the price. $950. They're charging now more than the Glock, and they're just not as popular as the Glock. So yeah, I don't know if I would get one of these for 950. That's starting to creep up there. Keep in mind those Shadow Systems pistols are like 1500 $1600. So for a little bit more, you get a much better pistol. The M1951s are inexpensive. These are around $530. They're weird. They're really weird. That like the magazine release, the safety, everything on them is weird. It's going to be hard to get parts for these in the future. They're kind of a cool new old stock pistol, but I don't know if I'd really want one of these. Springfield XDM, I have like a hardcore, like deep-seated hatred for them. I know that there's some guys out there that really like them. I've seen a couple of them fail on the line where most other pistols don't, and I think for the price, I don't think they're really worth it. For revolvers, there's a couple out there that you might want to consider. The Bond arms, probably I wouldn't consider. They're like really terrible to shoot. If you really want something that kind of looks like a Derringer, I guess you could get one of these, but they're really not great pistols. And I would say that the one I'd really look for a revolver, if you can find one, a Ruger Wrangler. I can't find any right now. If you can't find one of those, one of the Heritage Rough Riders are right around the same price, right around that 350 kind of a thing. They're a 22 revolver. I think they're a great little pistol. And that's kind of it. I mean, we're really getting down to the dregs of, of what's available. I think if you have the money and you want to get something like really good all around, the XR 920s or even like the P320 Legions, there's still a couple of those around, are really good for the money. If you don't have that kind of money, you want to spend a little bit less and still get a really great handgun, the P10F is good. If you want, again, just an all-arounder, and if you want to spend a little bit less than that, the Jerichos, while you can get them, are good. I don't think we're going to have very many of them for very long, unless like maybe one of the distributors sitting on thousands. I don't really know. All the retailers are out. The only one that I saw that had them is Gotenda. My local shop that had and was sitting on like 7 of them for the longest time just sold out like that when they announced that import ban. I don't really know what's going to happen next. There's going to be some distributors that brought some stuff in that are going to get their stuff out to the retailers. But whatever they have in the country, that's kind of it after this Friday. So we're going to see retail inventories drop down to nothing. And maybe there'll be a little bit of a secondary market until the government gets around to banning that transfer between individuals. But it's not long for now. So if you had your eye on something that you really want, pull the trigger. Thanks for watching.